In biology lesson, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about the digestive system in humans, particularly we will be talking about. So in digestive system in humans, first of all, we need to understand what is digestion before we go ahead for digestive system in humans. So let's talk about digestion first. There are basically two types of digestions, right? When I'm talking about digestion, there are two types. What are those two types? What are those two types? Yes, you can send me your answers here. Yeah, and yeah, you wanna say or you wanna write here in the comment in the box. How? Correct. We have one, which is yes. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yes, we have one which is actually mechanical, or we may also call it physical, right? Mechanical. In the bracket, we may write it physical as well. And the other one is basically chemical. Now, what is the difference in both of these digestions? We need to know the keywords in order to define them properly in our GCSEs, IGCSEs definitions. What are they asking? Definitely it is the breakdown, digestion, right? Breakdown of what? Large food pieces into what? Into smaller ones. Okay, and for what? To increase the surface area. Usually, it is done by what? It is done by teeth, for example, but not only by teeth, because it is common misconception that mechanical digestion is by teeth only, right? Where we are chewing the food. But actually, it continues. Like here in esophagus also, we have the movement of muscles there. We have longitudinal and circular muscles, right? So food is physically being sent right down there in the stomach. Then, further in the alimentary canal, also the movement of these muscles, which is actually, making the food move along smoothly, that is also considered mechanical digestion because it is moving the food physically, right? Yeah. So we will consider this. Then, when we come to the other side, we will talk about we will talk about chemical digestion. That is breakdown. Breakdown of what? Breakdown of large food molecules. Now, we will use this word, large food molecules into large food molecules into smaller ones. Here we are talking about molecules. And this action is done by what? This action is done by enzymes. Enzymes are the ones which are actually going to carry out this chemical digestion. So this is the main difference in these two of them, right? Yes. So note it down in your notebooks. Then I go further on the screen. Yes, let me know here in the chat box. Okay. Here, when you are adding that breakdown of large food molecules into smaller ones by the action of enzymes, okay, for what? To be absorbed into the bloodstream, right? To be absorbed into the bloodstream. Yeah, that will be better to add that. To be absorbed into the bloodstream. Yeah, do add this point as well. Okay, right, perfect. Now, we will go further to have a look in the digestive system as well. Okay, right? Like what do we have inside? Yes, this is what we're gonna do. Let me, take screenshot here. Now, here on the next screen, what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually draw the digestive system. Yes, draw with me along, because this is something, which is gonna help you remember all these, organs and their functions. We will be discussing each of it in detail. Okay, so here, when I'm drawing, let me draw the, let's begin from here. Ding. Oops. Oh, the whole thing is gone. Then, oh, yes, I'm trying to draw. It looks like a boy, right? I was thinking of putting up some hair. Ding. I was thinking of putting up some lipstick. Okay, so what we gonna, why I have actually put this red thing here, so we know what is that, right? Here we are actually going to talk about mouth, right? And this mouth here, what does it have? Let's talk about here. As you see here, when we are talking about mouth, from where actually food is ingested, this is mouth. Okay, in mouth, what is gonna happen? Food is ingested. Ingested, what does this word mean? Ingested means taking in food, right? Taking in food. Then, here, what will happen? There are basically salivary glands present in the mouth. What are present? There are salivary glands present. Salivary glands present in the mouth. What do they do? Which actually produce what? Produce saliva. Saliva contain what? Saliva that contains enzyme. Saliva contains enzyme. What enzyme I'm talking about? Amylase, which is a carbohydrate enzyme. When I'm saying carbohydrate enzyme, means I'm referring to the enzyme which will be working on for carbohydrates only. Other than that, there will be mucin. What is that? This mucin, it is a substance that, a slippery kind of substance, right? Slippery substance that does what? That lubricates the food, so it can smoothly go down into the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, why I'm saying this word, this is the one which actually starts from mouth and it goes till anus, right? Now, so we are going to remember that. Then here on the other side, let's go to esophagus. Let me put the heading as well. The digestive system. Please draw along the way. So, human digestive system. Now, we are going to esophagus here, as you can see. This is the long tube which is actually connecting what? Which is actually connecting stomach, right? Now, let me write it the other side. What is that? I am referring to this esophagus. Esophagus. Let me write it in red color, all different colors, so you can remember. First of all, it is a long tube. Long tube does what? That connects what? Mouth to the stomach. It is a long tube that connects mouth to the stomach. What does it have? There is a wave of contraction. There is a wave of contraction. Do you guys know what is it called? Wave of contraction that push the food down in the alimentary canal. What is it called? A wave of contraction called what? Called, yes, send me here in the chat box, in the comment here, if you know. Wave of contraction called peristalsis. This peristalsis is what? This is basically wave of contraction. Let me tell you here, how does it work? Let me change the color. There are two types of muscles, circular and along the length, right? And there are two types of muscles. Let me write here. Longitudinal muscles, and there are circular muscles. They are the pair of antagonistic muscles. Longitudinal and circular. These two muscles, what did I say? They are antagonistic muscles. In our body, like, you know, we have biceps, triceps, they are also antagonistic, right? Then, you know, we have, other than that, in our eyes, we have radial muscles, we have circular muscles. They are also a pair of antagonistic muscles. Similarly, here in this esophagus, we have this peristalsis, which is actually the movement of these muscles, longitudinal muscles and circular muscles. So because of this wave of contraction, this food, basically it moves down. Then, you know, here, what else do we have? Here, you know, we have, right, what is that? We have our liver, and here is gallbladder, right? So let's talk about it one by one. When I'm talking about this one, right? What is that? What is this part? Tell me here in the chat box. Tell me here in the chat box, which part is that? Right? So here, you know, when I'm writing this stomach, first of all, what is it? It is kind of stretchy bag. So I write here, stretchy bag, and how much it can actually hold food. I write here, stomach holds food. How much? About 1 liter. Holds food about 1 liter. It is a stretchy bag. Then, you know, what else? Walls of stomach produces. Walls of stomach produce. What does it produce? It produces gastric juice. Do you guys know what is gastric juice? What does it contain? When I'm asking gastric juice, what do you think? What does it contain? Walls of stomach, when we say produce gastric juice, what does it contain? That contains enzyme first, okay, that we are talking about. Enzyme, what enzyme? Pepsin. Okay, and other than that, what does it contain? It contains hydrochloric acid. Yes, this is the acid, hydrochloric acid, HCl, the formula of hydrochloric acid, and do you know the pH of it that we have is 1 to 2. So it means it is going to be quite strong acid. And what does this hydrochloric acid do in the stomach? That basically kills bacteria as well as it provides optimum pH. It provides optimum pH for pepsin, okay, which is a protease enzyme to work on. Protease enzyme. So gastric juice, basically, what does it contain? It contains hydrochloric acid. It contains optimum. It contains, pepsin. And then, this hydrochloric acid, which is actually killing bacteria as well as it is providing acidic pH for the pepsin to work. So now, once, food is here in the stomach, now it is already in kind of in semi-liquid form, right? Semi-liquid, or you can say kind of like watery form. Okay, watery, in semi-liquid or watery form, that is actually called what? That is called chyme. CHYME. Yeah, this is chyme, where food, it is actually in a runny form. Okay, not like very runny one, but semi-liquid kind, right? Where actually it is called chyme, because now it has already mixed with these gastric juice. So gastric juice has already added all these, hydrochloric acid, pepsin, digestion, okay, on it, digestion of proteins into amino acids. So now this is the runny liquid, which will actually flow through the next part of the digestive system. And what is that next part of the digestive system? Yes, now go there. And next part of the digestive system is going to be small intestine, right? So it is going to be something like that. Yeah, hopefully I'm drawing it nicely. I'm using the digital pen. So yeah, you guys can actually draw better than me in your books. And then, we have here what we have here. Okay. So I need to, this is the large intestine, right? We will be drawing it here. We have to draw here. A bit short of space here, but I think so we can accommodate. Yeah, we can understand. No worries. Can go a bit. Yes. Okay. And here, one more thing we cannot forget here. What do we have? We have leafy kind of structure. What is that? This is basically pancreas. Okay, leaf-like structure. Yes, perfect. Okay, now, let's talk about it one by one. When, we are talking about here, let me label it first. What is that? This is basically liver. And here, what do we have? We have gallbladder. So when, I am talking about, I need more space to write about it. Liver basically, what does it do? By the way, you guys should know that liver actually does more than 200 jobs for the body. Even though, yeah, you are not supposed to remember all those 200, but yes, you should know, and you should know some of them. And one of it is that, it produces bile, B-I-L-E. Okay, it produces bile, and bile which is produced by liver, and gallbladder is the one that actually stores it. Gallbladder which stores bile, this small thing, okay, that I have told you, right? Liver and gallbladder. Liver is producing bile, gallbladder is actually storing bile. Now, what what is bile basically? Bile actually takes part in emulsification of fats. What is the function of bile? Bile emulsifies. This is the key word that we need to remember. Bile emulsifies. Emulsification is the key word. Okay, it emulsifies fats. What does it mean? Emulsifies breaking down of large fat globules into smaller ones. Let me show you. Even though here I have limited space, but I still want to show you what is that. Large fat globules, for example, here, these are very large fat globules. They will be converted into smaller ones. For what? For enzyme action, right? So this is basically, what do we call? This is basically emulsification. Large fat globules into smaller ones, keeping in mind, this is also mechanical digestion. This is also what? Mechanical digestion. Also keeping in mind, bile does not contain any enzyme. Bile does not contain any enzyme. So definitely, no chemical digestion. Bile does not contain enzyme. It is only, converting what? Large fat globules into smaller ones. For what? To increase surface area. For what? For lipase action. To increase surface area. Lipase action is what? Lipase, which is the enzyme for fats, for lipase action. I have tried to put, all. I want to give you guys all in it, all the higher details that you would need. So then, here, let's label the rest of it that we have. So here, when I'm talking about this is basically our pancreas. I'm going to go on the next slide to finish this. Pancreas. Okay, that will actually produce what? Pancreatic juice. Then, first part of the small intestine, which is actually here I'm talking about. What is it called? This is basically called duodenum. And second part is basically called, what I'm referring to this part. This is basically called ileum. These two are making up what? A small intestine. Which two? Duodenum, first part, ileum. 1 and 2 I'm writing here. So these two are making up what? Small intestine. Yeah, please remember that. I hope it is not messy on the board. 1 plus 2, I have written the number 1 plus 2, which is actually making up what? Which is making up a small intestine. Then, here, what do we have next is large intestine, as you can see here. So large intestine, what is that? This is basically appendix. These are all the, okay, part of it. Then, we have cecum. We have cecum. These are all part of, we have colon, large intestine. We have rectum. And here, what do we have? We have anus. These are what here we are talking about. All of them, they are basically part of what? Large intestine. As you can see, I'm using the same color for them. They are large intestine. Appendix, it does not take part in the digestion itself. Okay, yeah, but it is the organ. That's why, you must have heard, that appendix burst. What happen if it gets burst? What will happen? The other part of the body come in contact with us, and the other fluids, blood and all that actually, and what is in the intestine, it comes in contact with the other part of the blood, and that could be toxic. That is why it needs to be operated immediately. Yeah, otherwise if it does not burst, it just remains there, it is fine, as long as it does not disturb your body. Okay, yeah, so this is about digestion, about pancreatic juice. I want to give you more in the next lecture. We will be talking about more in, more about the pancreas that actually produces pancreatic juice. Then we will go for the functions of duodenum, ileum, and, further in the large intestine. Since, it is a long topic, and, we need to do more details on it.